Right, let's see if we can do this one in 5 minutes. We'll put the timer up somewhere and let's go. Are you one of those photographers that secretly doesn't like leaving the house? Well, the great news is that next year might be the year of the camera we've all been waiting for, and that's the Adobe Nano Banana Mark 1 Gen Fill. And basically what that means is you will no longer need to leave the house to return with stunning soulless images. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? So I've been really fortunate to get my hands on a pre-production model of this, and here are some shots that I took earlier today in loads of different locations, i.e. my bed. It's actually quite crazy when you think of all the benefits that this camera might bring. It means that you'll save a ton on petrol, diesel or gas wherever you're from. It'll save you a lot on hotels and hostels. You'll not need to spend money on food when you're out for the whole day, because basically you don't need to travel anywhere. And possibly best of all, you now don't need to suffer through life reaffirming sunsets. You don't have to have emotional moments when things happen that you weren't expecting, and you don't even need to think about your health or your mental well-being. You can just stay indoors, you can type a sunset rather than capture one. Welcome back to a 5-minute Friday on a Sunday. I'll get the hang of this at one point, but you'll know I'm being sarcastic when I'm talking about this. But basically today's topic is, how far is too far when it comes to editing, from using sliders in Lightroom or whatever software you use, right through to using AI to remove or add objects. Do you have a line that you think you should never cross? I'm really hoping that we have some comments and discussion on this one, because it's something that I feel quite strongly about. Now, I'm not a purist. I definitely do some manipulation of my photographs, and sometimes you might argue that I go a little bit too far, but that's usually with colour and saturation. I do remove dead branches, twigs, rubbish, signs, things like that from my images, because I think it just looks better. In my opinion, one of the dangerous things about AI and being overly aggressive in Photoshop is that it can make you a lazy photographer, because instead of taking your time to set up a composition that is clear of obstructions, you might choose to say, well, I'll just take that and I'll crop that out, or I'll remove it using AI. It's far more important to take your time with your photography, look at different angles, set the shot up the way that you want to, perhaps with one part of your mind saying, this is great, I don't need to do anything with this when I get home. A great tip is that when you're checking your image after you've taken it, is check the edges of your frames, because that's where sometimes overhanging branches that you didn't notice come in, because you're so focused on what the subject is. And again, if you can zoom in a little bit, turn the angle a little bit, get them out the frame, then again it's another thing you don't need to do when you get home. And part of that process is teaching you about composition, about taking your time and making sure that the image is as good as it can be. So the danger of being hypocritical, I am part of the problem, and I think when you start out in photography, it's too easy to rely on these tools, because they're very abundant now. Even if you go back 5-10 years in Photoshop, it couldn't do half the things that it can do now. So when you're starting out and your photographs might not look particularly good because you're just learning, a trap you can fall into is trying to make it look better by manipulating it. And then that's where the laziness steps in, because the next time you go out to shoot, you start to think, well, it doesn't matter if it's cloudy or if it's rainy or if there's no light, because I can fix that in Lightroom. Whereas it's far more rewarding to look at your weather apps, look for the light conditions, search the locations that you're going to go, and see when all of that comes together and it was part of your plan. There is no better feeling in the world. And for me, that's something that AI can't replicate, because when you look at an AI generated image, yes, it might have all the elements that would make a great photograph, but there's no story behind it. It just feels dull and soulless. You get to tell your story. It's even better for me because I have a YouTube channel, so I get to tell you a story and bring you along so that you can see the before the shot, taking the shot, and then the editing after it. AI can't do that. Well, it probably can, but you know what I mean. Now don't get me wrong, AI definitely does have its uses, and I use it on a daily basis. I use it to assist me in my work because it cuts down in time editing Word documents and spreadsheets, but I also use it for my thumbnails, because sometimes I might get a little bit of an artist's block of what that should look like, and I'll ask for some prompts from ChatGPT to give me some ideas of what could look good. But once I get that idea, I then set up my camera and my rig in my studio, and I take the photograph myself. Yeah, I might manipulate things and create things like the dummy photograph in today's thumbnail, but that's just to prove a point. Like I say, I'm not immune to this, so I'm going to put some photographs up while we talk just now of what I was like in the early days, because I had gear acquisition syndrome, as most of us do at the start, but it wasn't limited to just gear, it was software programs. So I ended up having Lightroom, Photoshop, Luminar, all of the things that could make your photographs just look stunning at one click of a button. And Luminar, for me, was where it all seemed to go wrong, because it made it super easy to do sky replacements, to add sun rays coming through trees. I mean, the technology is incredible, but when I looked at those images once I'd finished, I kinda felt like I was cheating, because I was cheating. That's not the conditions of the day. Yeah, the image might have looked fairly decent, but it wasn't rewarding. And in some instances, it was downright ugly because I didn't know where to stop. So I think the question becomes, are you a lazy photographer? I think we're all capable of being lazy photographers, but do you want that to be the thing that defines what your work is? Or do you want to put the effort in? And even if you go out and spend all day, you travel hours and you come back with nothing, there is still a sense of achievement in that at least you tried. Because when you're sitting and you're typing in, show me dramatic mountains, show me stunning sunsets, you know in your head that you're cheating. Or are you? It's over to you for your opinions, and I really would love to hear from you on this one, so please get in touch. If you want to improve your photography, then don't do it by learning to drag sliders on its own. And certainly don't learn to do it by typing in accurate prompts into an AI machine. Go out and stand in the cold. Get up early in the morning. Go chase some light. And be there freezing your bollocks off when the sun comes up and it starts to kiss those snow-capped mountains. Because it hits you in here, and AI can't do that. And I hope it never can. Because when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, that's when you're forced to improve and develop and grow. And if you'd like to watch a video about how I did that recently, then I'd watch this video here. You might not be interested in whiskey, but that's not the point of the video. It's about me pushing myself to be out of my comfort zone and seeing if I can hack it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.